Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Sri Tips here, and this is day 6 of the 6-liter electrolytic silver cell operation. If you look down in here, you can see that the electrolyte is visible up around that impure shot that I have in the anode basket. And if you look at the anode electrode bar, it's starting to show signs that it too is dissolving because it's in contact with that electrolyte. Here you can see that the current flow through the cell is about 2.8 amps. And what we're going to do is I'm going to shut the power off now. And I've installed an inline fuse here, an automotive type fuse, a 6 amp fuse. Let's see if we can see the amperage on that. Here's the fuse that we just took out, 6 amps. And here's the fuse I'm going to replace it with, 3 amps. And that's because the current flow in the cell has reduced because the anode slimes are clogging it up now. So we can use a 3 amp fuse in here. And if the silver contacts the anode filter basket and creates a short circuit, then this 3 amp fuse will blow and it'll save my batch of pure silver crystal. Now what we're going to do is energize the power supply, make sure that fuse is going to stay put and not burn out on me. Okay, we got 3.5 volts, 2.7 amps. And now I'm protected from the anode basket coming in contact with the silver crystal as it grows. It'll blow the fuse and won't burn a hole in that anode filter basket. Now that I know my fuse is good, what we're going to do is come down here. You can see the electrode bars down in the electrolyte. If I allow that to stay down in there, what will happen is it'll dissolve my anode electrode bar, and I want to try to prevent that. So what I'm going to do is kill the power, and now we'll pull the anode electrode bar out of the anode basket and set it up here out of the way. Let's move this electrode bar out of the way. Get it down here so it's not in our way. And now what I'm going to do is use this 2-liter beaker like we did before. I'm going to try to get the lid off of here so we can take a look down inside the silver cell and see what kind of crystal growth that we have going on. Here's a look at the pure silver crystal. It looks magnificent. That pretty blue color comes from the copper that gets dissolved along with the impure silver in the impure silver shot that I feed in. The impure silver is about 98% or so pure silver, and the remaining 2% is going to be mostly copper, but there's also some platinum group metals and some gold in with the impure silver that I feed in. This is high purity silver, 3/9 fine or better. And I've sent my samples of my silver in from my silver cell multiple times and had it assayed, and it comes back 3/9 fine every time except once. What I did is I ran some of the silver crystal back through the cell a second time and had that sent off for an ICP analysis, and that came back greater than 5/9 fine pure silver. That's 99,999 parts per 100,000 pure silver. This is what the impure silver looks like in the anode filter basket. And as long as I keep as long as I keep the anode bar up out of the electrolyte, then we should be able to use it multiple times. And no way I can see to do that. I probably need to create a spacer for this thing, but for now what we're going to do is just go ahead, gather up some more impure silver shot and add that to the anode filter basket. And then we'll set our anode electrode bar on top of that to keep it up out of the electrolyte. Some viewers have asked, why don't we make a clear cover so we can see through the cover and watch the crystals grow? And the answer is because there's condensate that comes up out of the cell and it condenses on that cover. You wouldn't be able to see anything anyway because of the condensate that forms on this cover. So now we're going to lift this back up and set it back on top of the cell. Now we'll take our anode bar, put it back up here on top of the impure silver in the anode filter basket. Okay, here we go. We're going to re-energize the power supply. Remember, I've got a 3-amp fuse in here. So if the amps spike way up when I do this, it could blow that fuse. Let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, we're in good shape. 2.5 amps at 3.5 volts. In business. 6-liter electrolytic silver cell. If you look here, you'll see I've made a modification. I cut the bottom off of the first failed anode filter basket that I broke trying to drill holes in it. I cut the bottom off of it and I fitted it down inside the anode basket that I have in there, inside the filter. And now what I can do, this will help me keep the anode bar up off of the electrolyte, and this will just self-heat itself now. There we go. There's the rest of the silver shot added to the anode filter. So that's all 3.7 kilos of impure silver is now in the anode basket with that little modification that I've put on there. And what'll happen now is the anode bar will be kept up out of the electrolyte, and it'll just feed the impure silver down as it dissolves from the electrolytic action in the silver cell. I'd like to talk a little bit about the difference between currency and money. Okay, the first thing you have to understand about the relationship between these two is that this is real money, has been for thousands of years. Long after this is gone and forgotten, this will still be here and it will still be valuable. This is a money substitute. This is real money. This requires third-party validation. If you take away the third party, then this goes to zero. That's not true with gold and silver. They require no third-party validation. They stand on their own. Another thing to remember about these metals is that they are not investments, although people try to make them investments. They're not something that should be bought low and sold high and then converted back into paper dollars. I remember I used to do that with gold. I bought 4 ounces of gold, $286 an ounce. And when it went to 400, I sold it for $400 an ounce, converted the gold back into paper. And it didn't make any sense to me. And I pondered that for years. And then recently, it came to me that this is not an investment to be bought low and sold high. With investments, you got to be right twice, when you buy and when you sell. With gold and silver, you only have to be right once, when you buy. And then you use this metal to store the value to protect and preserve the purchasing power of your hard-earned savings. There was a time in recent history when money was currency and currency was convertible to real money. But today, they're two totally different things and serve two totally different functions. Currency is essential today because you can't go to the grocery store and use a sterling silver fork to pay for your groceries. You must have currency in order to be able to exchange for goods and services. And this is excellent for that. Also, currency or dollars are excellent for accounting purposes. One other advantage of currency is you can fold it up and put it in your pocket. It's very portable, easy to use, whereas these coins are bulky, and this is 20 silver dollars, and having that in your pocket would be very bulky and uncomfortable. The problem with this currency is this. Back in the day, when this was money, and this was currency, it took $20, one of these notes right here, to equal one of these gold coins. Gold has not changed. It has remained constant. It's not variable. This has declined in value. This is what's variable. This is not variable. It's the same today than it was back in 1908 when this coin was minted. This, however, is what has changed. It takes $2,150 paper dollars to buy 1 ounce of gold. And the reason it's like that, it's not because gold has increased in value nor scarcity. It's because the paper dollars have declined in value by that much over time. As the new currency that's printed into existence out of thin air gets introduced into circulation, every dollar out there loses value. So much so that over time, it's went from taking $20 to buy this to today it takes $2,150 to buy this coin. Not because this has gone up, it's because this has gone down. So this makes a very poor means of storing your value. Storing your savings in paper money is a bad idea. What we do is we go to estate sales. In fact, we're going one today, and at that estate sale, they've got a sterling silver flatware set and a bunch of nice gold jewelry for sale that we'll probably get for a little bit of a discount under spot price. So at the end of the day, this stack of paper is going to be converted into real money, metals. We're going to trade currency that's declining in value for real money, gold and silver, that's rising in value. All right, I guess that's all I got to say about that. I don't want to say anything that's going to get people disturbed or upset. These are all facts. This is not speculation or conjecture. Everything I've said here is factual and can be verified if you take the time to do your research. Most people don't. Most people believe incorrectly that paper money is more valuable than metals. And the opposite is true. Okay, this will conclude the video. Thank you for watching.